It's lovely to be able to bring you this news. As a journalist who's followed this right from the start, I think even saying the word zero cases means a lot.
안녕하세요. 휴직남입니다. 오늘 뉴스는 얼마 전 BBC에서 국내 발생 확진자 0명 한 것에 대해 관해 다룬 내용입니다. 개인정보에 대한 약간의 오보가 있긴 하지만 영상 한번 보시죠.
But let's start in South Korea, once one of the worst-hit countries. It has recorded no new domestically transmitted cases for the first time since the outbreak peaked 2 months ago.
It's lovely to be able to bring you this news. As a journalist who's followed this right from the start, I think even saying the word zero cases means a lot. They really went after this virus. They were ready for this pandemic. They had a test prepared within a few days of the first confirmed case. They then set up a number of labs, 100 labs, to process those test results in a few hours. 600 test centres were set up across the country, including 80 drive-thrus. Anyone who thought they had the virus could have a test. So that was the testing, all ready to go. Then came the tracing element, the tracking element. They tried to track down anyone who could be potentially infected, and they used technology. Now, it's quite controversial, but they used CCTV, phone and bank records once someone was confirmed with the virus to map their movements. Those details were then sent as an emergency text alert to people who'd been in that area. It was a targeted text. It would tell you the information, where the patient had been, who they were, their name, their age, their occupation, and it gave you an idea if you might have been sitting next to them. That way you knew to isolate yourself and get a test. But it's this aggressive use of testing and tracing that appears to have got this outbreak under control.
And Laura, what about people's attitudes? Because presumably trust in government and trust in science is high.
I think one of the things that they did here that really made a difference was that they handed over all the daily briefings to the scientists. So we had 2 briefings a day, which sounds quite a lot, but every day the chief of the Korean Centre for Disease Control stood up in front of the cameras and answered questions for over an hour. Actually, yesterday she answered questions from children because it's been Children's Day. So it was that message. It came from the scientists, not the politicians. And I think that helped ensure the kind of feeling of transparency, the feeling that they were being told the information that they needed to hear. It's worth also pointing out that this country has never been in lockdown. Yes, it was part of a social distancing campaign. Yes, a number of places were closed, but restaurants, cafes have remained open. Businesses have been able to trade. It's kept the economy moving, even if it's been more sluggish than before. So that has also helped. It's also worth remembering that all of these measures have meant that fewer than 250 people have died. Now, I was in the worst hit region of Daegu 2 months ago. Ambulances were queuing out the door, and doctors were telling me then that they would get this under control. I have to admit, at the time, I was entirely skeptical, but they have kept their word. They have been utterly determined. And the testing, the tracing, and also the fact that they've managed to kind of make sure that anybody who's been infected has been isolated has ensured that they've got it under control, which has meant they can give one-to-one patient care. And that, they believe, means that fewer people have died.